The movie begins with various camera feeds showing the interior and exterior of a spaceship. In one video, engineer James Corrigan is shown recording a video diary. In others, Team Captain William Zhu is seen adjusting various panels, and pilot Rosa Dask is seen adjusting panels and monitors in the cockpit. The camera feeds slowly start to get distorted and eventually stop, with the feed from the cockpit of pilot Rosa Dask being the last image before a static. Back on Earth, in the present time, Dr. Samantha Unger is apparently giving an interview on the Europa 1 mission. The footage of Europa 1 resumes with the team assembled in the central living area, all except James Corrigan. It is obvious something bad must have happened. Kathia asks about informing his family and whether they should go on. Back on Earth, Dr. Unger explains she was on board a transatlantic flight when she was informed that feed transmission from Europa 1 had stopped, and what they expected to be just delayed was already over 15 hours of dead feed. The recorded video diary of pilot Rosa is shown, and she confirms the death of James Corrigan and how badly it affected the whole team. The rest of the team appears in various camera feeds, visibly stressed and broken down. We are now taken back to the launch day of the Europa spacecraft. The administration, including Dr. Unger, is all excited to introduce the mission and reveal its purpose. The team pulls off a successful launch and is up in space on their way to Europa. On board, James starts his video diary by introducing the ship's interior, their daily life, and the rest of the excited crew. Several pre-launch interviews are shown explaining that the purpose of the mission is to seek out life on Europa, Jupiter's moon, as it has been confirmed that free water exists beneath its very thick layer of ice, and even heat signatures have been found in the area called the Connemara Chaos. 21 months, 16 days, and 23 hours into the trip, Team Captain William Zhu and Daniel confront Andre about his slow recovery, and after he leaves rather rudely, the two decide that they will be taking him with them in the lander to Europa. Jupiter is very close, and pilot Rosa records in her video diary that the closeness of the planet brought back the excitement, and the team is ready to work for the mission again. The crew soon reaches Europa and prepares the lander. They reach close to the surface smoothly but face radiation interference near the landing site and choose an alternate landing zone about 100 meters away from the Connemara Chaos, their preferred site. Daniel says it will be difficult to get the samples they wanted since they did not land where they were supposed to. Dr. Petrovna suggests they investigate under the ice since there is nothing else they can do. They lowered the robot and started drilling the ice. The whole landing craft shakes violently twice. Andre is up in the cockpit, and after the camera there gets interrupted by radiation, Andre peeks out his window and then quickly grabs his camera to record something. While the team below is investigating the cause of the frequent ice shifts, Andre climbs down and says, "Guys, I saw something." Andre reports he saw a light about 100 meters out, and it was like an LED down with refraction, and it definitely moved. The team investigates the feed from various cameras, but cannot find anything, although they notice radiation interference in all of the ship's cameras. Daniel believes Andre might have imagined the light, but Dr. Petrovna says it might also be the first indication of exactly the thing they came here to find. The ice drill finally breaks through to the ocean below. The team is very excited and wants to explore immediately by putting in a submarine probe. They are filled with awe seeing the beauty of the completely untouched environment. Dr. Petrovna, the marine biologist, is especially overwhelmed. They try to head to the target zone, but also notice thermal activities closer than expected. The ocean is 100 kilometers deep. They see a flicker of light, and then something hits the probe lens, smashing it. The team loses control of the probe. The only way to get sufficient samples now is a surface walk 100 meters to the target zone. In a flashback, 6 months and 16 days into the mission, while the team continues with their daily duties, a solar storm hits the spaceship, damaging key components, including communications. Their contact with Earth is severed. This explains the image of Rosa in the cockpit being the last image received back on Earth. James and Andre go out in their suits to fix several things across the ship. When they reach the communications panel, Andre tries to pry open a circuit board despite James' unwillingness and gets his suit's glove torn. Rapidly losing oxygen, he somehow manages to hold it with the other hand. James pulls him to the airlock to the decompression chamber, but Andre is losing oxygen rapidly and is seconds away from losing consciousness. Just when they are about to enter, James notices hydrazine spread all over his suit from the panel explosion. The chemical is very toxic and will contaminate the ship's environment, so he can't enter. Captain Zhu tries to keep calm and asks James to push Andre in before he dies. The veteran Andre tells James to get out of the suit and that he can make it into the decompression chamber without the external suit. Andre becomes unconscious due to depleted oxygen, and James pushes Andre in. The two astronauts are no longer tethered together. The ship drifts away, and James is left with only minutes of oxygen. Captain Zhu says he can no longer be rescued because by the time they get to him, James will be lost. Andre regains consciousness in the decompression chamber and howls in despair on realizing what must have happened. Back on Europa's surface, the team debates the possibility of a surface walk. Dr. Kathia Petrovna volunteers and is very excited to do it. The 5-member team decides to vote, and Kathia suits up for the walk. Once outside on the surface of Europa, Kathia can't believe she is there. She is filled with awe. Rosa climbs up to get a direct view of her from the cockpit window. On the surface, Kathia sends back data from several samples. All are negative for life. But when she analyzes a subsurface specimen, the team detects a unicellular organism. Europa 1 has detected life outside Earth. William calls her back, but Kathia sees a luminescence in a dark area that she thinks might be the one Andre saw earlier. On her reserve oxygen, she goes in to investigate. On reaching the area, they again notice radiation spikes. Kathia turns off her lights to see if the blue light she is seeing under the ice responds, and the luminescence shifts closer. She is too curious, and as the luminescence quickly spreads around her, she slips, and the team is horrified to see her signals coming from underneath the ice. She is sinking, and they can do nothing. On Kathia's helmet camera feed, only her face is visible, her eyes wide with horror and a pulsating blue light all around her while she sinks deeper into the ocean. The death of Kathia knocks the wind out of the team. The team attempts lift off from the surface of Europa. Things go wrong from the start. The lander stalls and hurtles back toward the surface. While they are falling, Captain William Zhu gets out of his seat and tries to release the water shield to slow them down and soften their landing. He is successful and saves the crew, but is killed on impact. After the ship's cameras come back online, we see that Rosa, Daniel, and Andre are still alive. Captain Zhu's last moment of bravery saved them all. Andre does a damage assessment, and it's not looking good. Andre declares that it will take 2 men to work on the engines outside for 2 hours to get the engines back. Rosa suits the 2 guys up. It is now revealed to us that the video log Rosa has been seen recording the entire time was only started after Andre and Daniel set out to try and repair the lander's engine. Rosa records this video just in case they don't make it, hoping someday it is recovered by future explorers. She connects the recorder to the comm panel. Immediately on opening the hatch, Daniel's suit camera catches radiation interference. He tries to descend using the skewed ladder, and when he reaches the surface, the ice underneath him gives away. Rosa loses contact with him, and Andre reports he was surrounded by blue light and then disappeared under the ice. Rosa asks Andre if there is still hope, and Andre says yes, but not for them getting off Europa. Andre says he can fix the communications module by salvaging parts from the life support so that they will be able to send their data to Earth. Rosa steadies herself to accept that they have to die and proceeds as per Andre's instructions. Andre reaches the surface without trouble and starts to transfer parts from the life support system to the communications panel. A blue luminescence appears right behind him underneath the ice. Rosa spots it with a lander cam, but there is severe radiation interference. The light starts to come closer to Andre, but he manages to finish his job. Rosa immediately starts uploading James and her video diaries, along with all other on-deck and external camera data, and data from the sample analysis. The ice underneath Andre breaks, and he falls, reporting in his last moments that the ship is about to sink. Rosa keeps the camera pointed behind her as the ship sinks below the ice. As she watches, crouching in the pilot's seat, the ship fills with water. Lights are seen moving under the surface, attached to some sort of tentacle. The last image seen is that of an enormous octopus-like bioluminescent creature, closing in on the camera. Mission Director Dr. Unger explains how she got the final images and how their mission has finally come back to them. She says they witnessed the sacrifices made and the lengths the team went to push the discovery further. Dr. Unger reveals that in the last moments in the lander, Rosa decided to open the hatch to let everyone see what might potentially be there. The discovery of the creature was beyond their most far-fetched theoretical models and only shows how our universe is far stranger and far more alive than ever imagined. The movie ends with a group picture of the whole team taken near the beginning of the mission, smiling and excited. Thank you for watching.